My name is Jessica Abbey. I am consulting on Joshua Ryan Smith's probation violation hearing. I'm an administrator at the Wexford County Substance Abuse Treatment Center in Cadillac, Michigan, where Joshua Smith was required to complete an alcohol program as dictated in his terms of release that was stated in his bond papers. Joshua began the program on January 25th of 2017, and he started out being compliant with the requirements of the program. The requirements of the program demanded participation in each of the group therapies, in each of the individual therapies, and it also demanded that the client stayed sober during the entire period. All of our substance abuse treatment programs, including the alcohol program, have a 3-strike rule. This means that if you are non-compliant, if you miss too many days, or if you break the rules of sobriety, on the 3rd strike you will be dismissed from the program. Joshua Smith started out the program very compliant. He participated and seemed eager to change. He was available to take all of his weekly update calls from the program supervisor and submit each drug test on time, and he did pass them. Joshua began to miss group therapies, which we marked down to problems with possibly work. But it turns out that was not the case. However, we did give him a little leeway and did not count them as strikes. Even though we were not counting those as strikes, as we believed it was work-related, Joshua stopped being an active participant during the therapies he showed up at. Joshua lasted little over a month in our program. He was expelled from the program on April 26th of 2017. He violated the program's sobriety rule 3 times. Joshua showed up to group therapy intoxicated on 3 occasions. The first occurred on 3/28/17, the second on 4/18/17, and the third and final strike was on 4/25/17. Joshua appeared to lose interest in the program early on. He appeared to think that it was a joke and that he was not a necessary candidate for the program. He didn't think he had a problem. And with him being out in the real world while in this program, he was constantly exposed to alcohol use by friends, family, social media, television, and he couldn't stay strong and not use it. During Joshua's exit interview, it became clear that he still believes that he doesn't have a problem, even though the alcohol was the reason he was expelled from the program, and also the reason that he was arrested in the first place. Joshua's temper was also a problem during our program. He would get defensive when others seemed to be critiquing him, even if they weren't. He was very suspicious of others' statements towards him, and he seemed a little paranoid, to be honest. Joshua appears to have a history of aggression problems. His initial arrest was public intoxication. As you know, Joshua was drunk and fighting with somebody in an alley outside of a bar. Joshua received a slight inside the bar and followed the man when he left. When the cops arrived, he was yelling and very aggressive towards the other person, and we believed a fight was about to break out. Plus, during Joshua's stay in jail preceding his bail hearing, he did get in a fight. He was not the primary aggressor, however, he did throw the first punch. So his history of aggression is quite concerning. and I believe that he would benefit from anger management classes as well as alcohol treatment. At this point, however, I do not think that Joshua Smith would be a good candidate for outpatient treatment. Since Joshua Smith violated the terms of his probation by possessing alcohol and consuming it, he also violated his probation by failing our substance abuse programs, which was a requirement in his probation terms. Not much more than a month after he was given the terms, I really don't think that an outpatient treatment program is rigorous enough for the case we are working on. I think that Joshua Smith would benefit most by an involuntary inpatient hospitalization at a psychiatric hospital where he can be monitored in a substance abuse program, in an anger management program, and he will not be exposed to any alcohol or any social media, any television that shows alcohol. So that temptation is not there. It would give him a much better chance of being successful than if he was free in the real world. I do not believe incarcerating Joshua Smith would benefit him at all. He would likely not have any treatment for his anger problems, and he would come out of prison and start drinking again, get more problems, and his anger problems would probably land him back in prison. By utilizing an inpatient hospitalization, they can start working on the underlying cause of his anger problems, be it emotional trauma, a chemical imbalance, or maladaptive coping skills. And they can also treat a substance abuse problem, which is likely a coping mechanism that he has adapted through witnessing it from his family. Maybe that's how they cope with stress, or just from trying it and becoming addicted to it. Addiction is an illness, and it should be treated as one. So to put him in a prison facility untreated would not help the problem at all. Also, there are quite a few programs in an inpatient hospitalization that Joshua Smith would benefit from. Cognitive behavioral therapy would benefit him in learning new coping mechanisms, and the group cognitive behavioral therapy would be very beneficial to showing him that he does have a problem. It is normal, normal to him and those that suffer from it. He's not alone. That is big to show someone that they are not alone. It's going to help them a lot more than putting them in a therapy with a psychiatrist and no one else. And by showing him he's not alone, they can work together to help each other, and they will have much more success in learning new coping mechanisms. The average stay for a patient in crisis at a psychiatric hospital is about a week. However, I recommend that an involuntary stay for Joshua be 2 to 3 months, just so that we can make sure that we are treating his psychiatric problems as well as his alcohol addiction. It might take him a lot longer for him to recognize that he has a problem and get over his aggression at being hospitalized. So the extra time will give him time to acclimate to his setting and get him to want to participate, even if it's just to get out of there. And that is my recommendation for Joshua Smith, and I hope that it helps you with your decision during this probation violation hearing. Thank you.